Good morning, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. We are in part 9, and we are headed to a birthday party. Woohoo! So Miss Lost Girl, Miss Theo, as you will be lovingly referred to from here on out, you have some information that you have not shared with the group. Later in the session, I will allow you to share that if you would like to, but you absolutely do not have to. You can keep that a little bit close to the chest.
Okay.
You kind of found out information in her presence, but because she was kind of in a coma, she didn't really hear it. So that's where we're at with that. You guys are headed to a birthday party. It's kind of a tea party, kind of not. It's a birthday party for the prince and princess of the kingdom of Lolly, Harry, and Heather. Last time we saw Harry and Heather, you guys had just gotten off the train of Lolly from the Lost Kingdom of Underland.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen them since, and it's very intense. They have sent you flowers and invitations and all sorts of fun little things to just kind of keep them fresh in your mind. For this birthday party, obviously, you guys got to bring some gifts. You brought enchanted arrows for Harry. What did you bring for Heather?
I brought, it's a tea party. I brought her some nice tea and like some cool earrings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Very nice, like tea leaves or fancy tea leaves.
Sampler.
Oh, like the sampler kit of really fancy tea leaves. I love that. And some earrings. Very, very cool. What did you get your girlfriend and her brother?
So for my girlfriend, I had gone out looking for like a bracelet with little red heart charms, like her cheeks.
I love it.
And then for her brother,
You can get him a gift card.
I was gonna say probably shoot. I guess if you got him arrows, I could get him a quiver.
Quiver. Okay. So you got him a really cool quiver. Is it like leather? Is it fabric? Is it something special, or is it just like a really nice quiver?
Something like pretty.
Okay.
Like leather for sure. So
Gotcha.
Arrows don't go through it.
Okay.
A well-made one. No like fancy abilities or anything.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right.
It
So
would have been hard to find on short notice.
So, can I also help her like picking out some like custom gloves and like fancy like slippers to go with like the outfit as their gifts? Is that okay?
absolutely. So you guys are headed to the party. So we all have our various gifts for the prince and princess. So you guys get there, you walk in, and there's no announcements. You can just walk in so long as you present your invitation. So you guys present all of your various invitations to the guards and things like that. And they don't make an announcement. There are no trumpets. It's just a very casual, very easygoing garden party and tea and light party type thing. So it's presented in the gardens of the castle of Lolly, and the maze is lined with guards so that nobody gets stuck or anything like that in this huge maze. But the maze itself is lined with adorable little like fairy lights. And when I say fairy lights, I mean they're literal fairies holding lights. There's music, there's fairy lights, and it's in the center of this gorgeous maze of just roses and vines and plants and all sorts of.
Excellent.
But it's in the middle of the maze, and in the center is a huge checkerboard dance floor.
Yes.
That people are just mingling about. And then there are waiters coming around with champagne or tea. Two options, champagne or tea. And these waiters are not regular humans. They are ginormous emperor penguins walking around with tea and champagne. On the dessert table are all sorts of little cakes and cookies and like finger sandwiches and things like that. Really cute, really small things that people can just kind of grab and go with. There is some candy, but not a lot. It's mostly for decoration. And as you guys walk in, so the line of succession essentially is the good doctor is in the front, followed by Akima, followed by, I believe it was Phoenix. Theo, you're bringing up the rear. So you guys walk in and you guys see that the Red Queen and Heather are having a very, very intense conversation. I want both of you to roll a D20 for me.
Oh no. I got a 9. I got a 3.
Hold on, math.
It's at home.
16, and you got 9?
Yeah.
18. So as you guys are walking up, because even though it's, kind of a line, you're all kind of like, it's much more of a diagonal, so you all can see what's happening, and you all kind of enter at the same time. So you two both hear them arguing, and it's about you guys that they're arguing about.
Like, can I make a perception to see like how like intense it is?
Sure. Roll a d20 and add your perception modifier. Tell me what you got, and I'll do math for you if you want me to.
I'm got my brain. So I got a 14. My perception's 14, so 14 plus 14.
28.
Yes.
28. You definitely know it's animated. And you start to hear, because you're kind of leading the charge. You're in front, and you hear Heather go, I don't care if they're anything. They're adventurers and they're my friends. Now the Queen goes, they are enemies of the crown. And Heather goes, no, they're your enemies. They're not mine. And that's all you can perceive and take away from that conversation. Turns around quick, sees you, runs up, hugs you so intensely, and just kind of whispers, I never thought I'd see you again. Aww. She was so scared for you. She was so scared. Yours was a 16. She's still wearing the charm bracelet, the Queen's charm bracelet.
Okay. Good.
As she's hugging you, she lets go a little bit and she just smiles. Then she looks back at her mother, gives her mother the dirtiest look, turns around and kisses you very, very intensely.
Oh, yes, ma'am, thank you. I'll add like a little extra razzle dazzle because I would have noticed.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah, I'll like full dipper too.
Yes, as you should.
Yeah, the whole razzle dazzle. Oh, yeah.
The Queen
is watching.
The Queen is watching, and you went ham. Yes!
I will go all out.
Just in the middle of the fucking dance floor.
You see, I was to take his head and slowly cover his face because he's blushing.
Aww, it's okay. This is just romance.
And then I'll pretend
With the
I heard the conversation.
Right. With this intensity, even Heather's taken a bit aback, and she's like, whoa, didn't know you had that in you, but I like it. At this kiss, the Queen rolls her eyes and just turns and walks away. From kind of nowhere, Harry walks up and leans in kind of like to your shoulder, and he's like, I wonder if that trick would work for me. At this, you are... it's kind of a jump scare for you. Yeah. And you didn't grow up in, like, the bougiest of areas. So you spin around real quick and put a dagger to his chin. You put a dagger to his chin, and he's like, whoa, just kidding. Please don't kill me. I know you're mad, but please don't kill me. She looks over to her brother and says, come now, Harry, you don't want to piss her off. She's more powerful than we realize. And he's like, you know what? You're right. And he just kind of backs away off of your dagger. He just kind of backs away. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I would very much like to talk to you if you'll allow me at the end of through the night. And then Heather goes, my goodness, my dear. You are not dressed for this party at all, are you? Do you have a response?
No.
No. She moves her hand ever so gently, and your original attire now turns into kind of like a T-length dress, so it's like a little bit above the knee. Pick your favorite color.
Teal.
Okay. So it turns into a teal T-length dress. It's got a couple of bedazzles, but nothing too intricate. It's very, very simple. But now you're dressed for the occasion. Harry looks you up and down and just smiles. He doesn't smirk. He just kind of smiles. What are you two doing?
Well,
other than covering your eyes in secondhand embarrassment.
So what I do, I kind of like, who's mad? Who's like angry that we're here?
So the Red Queen is kind of angry that you're here. Because technically, you guys are enemies of the crown and the kingdom of Lolly. Pippa slayed the Red Queen's Jabberwocky, and you are the personal physician to the Gold Queen. So the Red Queen doesn't like you very much.
Okay. Can I go to the Red Queen and gently just touch her shoulder and say, we mean to cause you no trouble, and I want to cast calm emotions.
No. No, you may not. The Queen, after Heather walked away, she rolled her eyes, threw her hands up in frustration, and just started mingling. Like, she doesn't even, realize that you guys are even there anymore. Like, after the kiss, she was just so furious with her daughter that she fully walked away from the situation.
Pippa, do you want to do anything? Or Kima, do you want to do anything?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I am just thinking it in, trying to be as so possible, but...
Cool.
Yeah.
So for the sake of the story, I'm going to say that you two go to put your presents on the gift table. You two walk over to this table, and it is a mountain of presents of various sizes and colors and ribbons and jewelry and mountain of presents. And it is just there. And it is kind of impressive how big this mountain of presents is. I need both of you to roll a perception check for me. Actually, just roll a simple D20 at advantage.
18. 6.
So 18. Alex, roll a D20 at advantage.
I rolled a natural 20.
Word. So you guys both notice that none of these presents have tags on them at all, nothing to, from, or anything like that. They're just kind of presents. The only ones that have labels on them to Harry, to Heather, are yours. You also notice that on this mountain of presents. Next to it, or not even next to it, but kind of like under it, is a much smaller, maybe 10-ish presents. Very poorly wrapped. The ribbons aren't as nice. The wrapping isn't as clean. The wrapping isn't as colorful. And there's only about 10 of them. And these are labeled, they just have the word Harry on them.
Can I go to like a room by myself? Is it like a room that's not occupied?
What are you attempting to do? Are you attempting to do science? Are you attempting to do trickery? Are you attempting to do sneaky shit? Or do you just want a breather from the party?
I just actually just want to like just do a spell, and I don't want to like alarm people. Kind of want people to think I'm doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So you can go to like the gold the silver like gazebo that's at the end of the maze.
Okay.
Yeah. So you go
there.
Yeah. And then what spell do you want to do?
So the rolling, it's a D100, but I just decided how I get this. So I get on my knees and pray, and I want to do divine intervention. And basically, you got to roll to see it. It's a D100, but it's going to just say what I have to roll to achieve this. So because I want to basically pray to the Wild Mother to basically just ask her a question. So
okay.
Roll to
yeah. Roll a D100. Excuse me, at advantage. So roll it twice and take the higher number.
I rolled a 70.
A 70. Okay. So yeah, it's gonna take a little bit out of you. But you pray and she hears you. What are you asking for?
I asked the Wild Mother, I say, Wild Mother, please give me the location of the lost heir. Like, just to tell me, like, where he is, so I can know where to go and find him.
You rolled a 70?
Yes.
So you're praying and you keep asking this, cause I am a dumbass and I didn't write down the majiggers. Okay, so you see an image of the charm bracelet that the queen gave you, and
yes.
You see an image of the province of Silver Spire, and you see this huge library, and then it flashes back to the image of the bracelet, and then it zooms into the image of a snake, and you see the island of Montanugini, and you see the volcano that in the center almost erupting. It goes back and it zooms into the lollipop for the kingdom of Lolly, and you see hands banging on a trapped door. It zooms out and it zooms back in, and you see just a glittering picture of the castle in the capital city, your queen's castle, and there's a huge like shards of shadow creeping up the sides and from the bottom of the castle, and just kind of engulfing it. It zooms out and then it zooms back in, and then you see a province that you've never really seen before, but it kind of looks like a good mixture of like Lolly and the capital. But then you see a big old skull on the ground, and you zoom into the skull's eye, like even further, and it's just like ashy snow falling. And then it zooms out again, and then finally it zooms into the train charm on the bracelet. And that's a representation of West Dades. And you just see like a train whistle or like a business whistle. Ooh, ooh. And then it zooms out and the image vanishes.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it is.
With all that, would I know?
And because it's so much to take in, you're taken aback. Like you're almost like blown back and like pushed over. And you come back from this prayer in like a cold sweat almost. And then in your ear, you just hear your queen's voice, Queen Miranda's voice. Find him. Find him. Find him. And it's just kind of like in the wind, and it just kind of like drifts off.
So
you also lose 1 hit point. You also lose 1 hit point because that was an intense experience for you.
Okay, excellent.
Process what I just told you. As they're leaving, you turn back to. First of all, do you have an opinion on the dress?
No.
No? You're still wearing like combat boots with the dress, so it's kind of cutesy.
Yeah.
So after, she changes the dress, Harry very slowly comes back up and he's like, you look really nice. Like he kind of like stumbles through it. He's kind of nervous now because he knows he's pissed you off, and that's never what he wants to do.
Aww.
But he's like, you look very nice, whether you're in a dress or in cargo pants. And he just kind of tries to maybe take your hands. Do you let him do that? Okay. So he takes your hands and he's like, can we, is there any chance that you would let me talk or we can talk at all?
Absolutely.
Aww. Yay. Do you want to stay kind of in the middle of the dance floor, or do you want to like go to the corner or something? How did I fucking know? So you guys go to kind of a corner. You're still in the party. You haven't gone into the maze. You're still in the party, but you're kind of like in the corner where nobody can really hear you. Nobody really pays attention to what's happening. Do you want Harry to start, or do you want to start? You'll hear what he has. Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. So he's like, I know you're mad, and I am so sorry. I have nothing more to say for myself than that. I am an opportunist, and I've been an opportunist for a really long time. And that's always how people saw me. So I've only always been on when I've met women. And then I met you. And with you, I knew I didn't have to be on. I just had to be me. And that scared me. So the minute I got the chance, I reverted back to the way I was before. And I reverted back to being on. And when I saw how much that hurt you, it hurt me. And I don't want to feel that hurt again. I only ever want to make you proud of me. And I want to be someone that you would happily dance with and happily talk to and happily face a Jabberwocky ghost with. For you, and so far for only you, I only want to be me. And I'm sorry if I ever made you feel unworthy. Go forth, NB. Go forth with that information. What you want. You're welcome.
That was so sweet.
I have been planning that speech for 2 fucking weeks. I have been planning that goddamn speech for 2 goddamn weeks.
So you're hired a man on Tinder.
Oh, never let it be said that I can't get bitches because yesterday a guy at work asked me out. Never let it be said that I can't get bitches.
No, let's call the man on Tinder. Or you can train them.
I will. I will train men how to be good men. Don't
do.
even.
All of them are so trash.
What do you say? How do you say it?
Wow. It's just no words.
So okay, here's what I'm gonna do because I'm a good person. I'm gonna let you rock with that for a little bit.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I think we got it. So, I don't know. I feel like I really want to see more of that from you, and I think we could take this slow and do this together because I really like getting to know just you as you.
Oh my god! Yes! I'm so happy. This makes me so happy. You still have the present for him. Do you want to give it to him now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You're like, oh, by the way, I have the, and it's a really long box because they're arrows. I have these for you.
You really see the arrow on the head with this conversation.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. I'm so happy that this is happening. He opens the present and he sees that they're arrows. And you almost see tears start to well in his eyes. And he's like, you bought these for me? As he's looking at these arrows, he's like, no one's ever bought me a gift before that actually meant anything. And he doesn't even know these arrows are magical. But you bought him a gift. And he, like I said, practically in tears that you even thought of him and actually got him something like a gift, not something that was, and it was really nicely wrapped too because you care. And yeah, it kind of brought tears to his eyes that you thought about him.
So cute.
It's so cute. It's
Oh my god.
too stinking cute. Because mostly he was a playboy. If you guys had gone over to the gift table, you would have seen a mountain of beautifully wrapped presents. And then kind of tucked to the side, just kind of newspaper wrapped, very small, maybe 10 gifts. Kind of tucked under the mountain of presents. Mm-hmm. The mountain is for Heather. Little ones are for Harry. So he's very happy. He puts the arrows on the ground and just kind of hugs you really, really intensely. And he just says, thank you for actually giving a damn about me. I know. I'm gonna kill y'all today. I'm gonna kill it. I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Too emotional for this.
I'm killing y'all. Oh, you haven't even begun, my man. Your turn's next. You're next. Heather whisks you away into the maze. And she's so very excited. She's practically like bouncing with excitement.
Okay.
She is so ecstatic.
It's on brand for her.
Especially because you're alive. She didn't think you would. You're alive. And you just jazzed her jelly beans with that kiss. You. Sorry. I'm sorry. That was the first thing that came to mind. And the minute it came out of my mouth, I'm like, wait, what the fuck does that mean?
It makes sense because she's like, it's
Where's love?
locationally on
So so you jazzed your jelly beans, and she's very excited, and she's bouncing you into the maze, and you come to like there was a pathway, and then it kind of split, and there was a wall. On this wall, there's a little kind of darker patch.
Okay.
That's kind of spherical, but because it's a bush, it's not exactly straight.
Yeah.
And she's like, how much do you know about the Kingdom of Lolly?
Zip. Zip, zada, and zilch.
Gotcha. And she's like, okay, so here in this maze, it has been enchanted for eons and eons and eons for diplomatic reasons. And she is like telling you the whole history of this maze. And originally it was just portals, and they would stay in one place forever, and they would never move. And then one day, my mother actually made them move, and because she enchanted them somehow. And basically what I'm trying to say is these little rabbit holes can take you to different dimensions, and you never know what dimension you're going to get unless you know where to look. And she goes, and as she's telling you this, she's like bouncing closer and closer to the hedge. Roll another perception check for me.
15.
You're good. I don't even need to look at your stats. You're good.
Oh, no, I rolled a 2. 15.
Oh, bless. Okay, so yeah, you're still good.
Okay, cool.
As she's telling you this, you're looking around the maze, and you're noticing more and more of these little rabbit holes, as she calls them. And they do. Every couple of minutes, they switch and they change and they move. And one time, a hole will be up here, and then the next minute, it'll dart down next to your feet, and then the next minute, it'll be all the way at the other end of the maze. And it just, these circles are all moving. And she's like, unless you know where to look. And she gets to this hole, and it's just kind of there. And it's not really moving. Yeah, it kind of like shakes a little bit, but it's not really moving at all. She still has your hand, and you're very amazed by this whole maze situation. She looks at you, and she's like, do you trust me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
She's like, I thought you would say that. Again, she kisses you just really, really quickly. And she's like, okay, hold on. And for the love of God, don't let go of my hand. In fact, she's like, you know what? I don't trust you with your own life. She pulls you in and like grabs you around the waist. And yeah, just kind of grabs you around the waist, and you put your arms around like her neck essentially. And she's like, okay, this might be a little weird. She puts her hand on the rabbit hole and just kind of lets the bush take her arm. And you guys are sucked in to the hole. And you guys are going through the rabbit hole. As you guys are going through, you see a whole bunch of colors and stars and everything just moving very, very rapidly at the speed of light, just moving past you. And then you see, a hole with a goat teacher teaching a lecture about something. And then you see a different hole where a new like itty bitty witch is just getting her wand. And then you see a hole with what looks like a highway, and just all these different holes. And Heather just calls back to you, hold on, we're almost there. And she turns really quickly, and you guys go through a different hole that kind of looks like a library. And you guys go through this hole, and you kind of like tumble out on top of each other. So now you guys tumble out, and she's on top of you, and she's like, you good? You're a bit dizzy, but you're okay.
I'll be like, yeah, give me a sec. And then I'll like pop my head up to kiss her.
Aww.
And then I'll look down and be like, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Holy crap. Okay, so you guys help each other up, and you are standing in this massive library. Ceiling to floor books of any and every kind. And some of them have like chains on them. Some of them don't have titles. Some of them have titles. Some of them are, you know, kind of jiggling in the bookcase. And it's just so many books.
Okay.
Do you have a reaction?
Other than just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is a bunch more books than I've probably ever seen in my entire life.
Aw.
For all that I can remember, because I was on Neverland.
Yep.
I was like, like, holy shit.
You only had storybooks on Neverland.
Not any other kind of books.
Yep.
Yeah, just like.
And she opens her arms and spins, and she's like, kind of, you know how that scene in Belle where she first discovers the library, like Beast first shows her the library, and she kind of spins? Yeah, she kind of does one of those fancy little moves, and she's like, welcome to the Royal Library of the Kingdom of Lolly. Yeah. This is also the national, like, treasury. Like, this has every history book, every story, every language, everything. This is the library.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I've never seen so many books in my life.
Aww. That can be it. That can
Yeah, why are we here?
She's like, I haven't even shown you the best part. This is all just knowledge passed down from eons and eons and eons. What I want to show you is magic. And she takes your hand and she guides you, and she takes you to the kind of end of the library. And it's these big chained up room. Like it's chains and it's bars and it's sealed off. Right? And then there's a little podium that's there. There's nothing written on it, but there is a little bit of a space that's like carved out of it. And it kind of looks a little weird. It doesn't really look like a keyhole of any kind. It doesn't look like you need to place your hand there or anything. It just kind of looks like a random carving. If you didn't know any better, you would think it was just a crack from being an old podium, because this podium is like marble and it's very sleek and very, very pretty. Heather just looks, see?
I see. What
And
I
she's-
see.
And she's like, what you're not seeing is a keyhole. I didn't know what the key was. I've been in this library 1,000 times, and every time this section has been closed off to everybody except for the most royal of royal people, until I found this. And she shows you the charm bracelet, or until you gave me this. Just watch. And she puts her wrist kind of near the podium, and all of the charms start to glow. Just very, very brightly as it gets close to the podium.
Okay.
And she's like, see? I didn't want to open it without you, but I know we were on a time crunch, so... Well, the bracelet fits. The bracelet fits into the keyhole. But I couldn't bring myself to open the door without you being here.
Aww.
Do you want to check it out?
Real quick, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So she takes the bracelet off and places it down into the hole in the podium. It kind of shakes a little bit, and you see kind of small pieces of rubble like falling from the rafters because it shakes the entire building.
Yikes.
And it starts to sink into the floor, this podium, with the bracelet inside. and it just starts to sink. Once it reaches the floor, the gates unlock themselves, and these gorgeous gates open up into a library again, but it's a much smaller library. There's not nearly as many books here. Mm-hmm. This is reserved for scholars, queens, kings, very high people of power. Mm-hmm. Doors open.
Is the whole podium like
it's on the floor? Like you can like step on it and everything, and it won't move.
Okay, but like the bracelet hasn't vanished yet. Mm-mm. Okay, good.
Bracelet's still there. You wouldn't be able to, like, if you like touched it and like tried to take it out, the doors would close and it would lock again.
Okay. So I just didn't. I wanted to make sure that it didn't like go into the floor and then like the floor slipping over it.
Yeah, no. It's still there. You can clearly see it, but you can like step on it and step over it, and it won't budge.
Okay.
And it won't be broken at all.
Cool. I don't know. I'll look to Heather. Like, did you want to, like, what would you like to do?
I know you've been a little bit curious about your past, and so have I. So I thought there might be a book or something in here that could, I don't know, help. And I don't know, maybe there's something about the lost Arid here that we just haven't looked at yet. Who knows?
I'll take your hand and push our hands forward so we
go. So you go into the library.
I'm not stepping in there without her.
That's fair.
I don't want to be stuck.
That's valid. That's valid and fair. So you guys go, and the shelves are very, very dusty, and there's only a few books and things like that scattered about. At the very, very end, there are 6 floating books with seemingly only 1 page each.
Okay.
Glowing. Like they have this glowing just light around them.
Okay.
Do you want to explore these books at all?
I assume so.
Okay. Okay. So you see that they all have different colors, mm-hmm. but they don't have a title at all.
Okay.
Do you want to try to look inside?
Yes.
Okay. So pick a color.
Green?
Go to the green. So you take the book and you open it up, and you can feel the magic tingling in your fingers. You open it up, and there's a singular inscription on the pages. Once lost, but not forgotten, sent away to keep from going rotten. The line tears itself out of the book as you read it, rolls itself up, and zooms past you into one of the charms on the charm bracelet. But because you're on the complete opposite end, you don't know which charm. And then the book essentially has no pages in it. It's just a green cover. It's not glowing anymore.
Okay.
You did it.
I did it.
You did it.
I did.
So, yeah. And then you hear from somewhere, seemingly nowhere, Heather, where are you? We're about to bring out the cake. Heather! It's the Red Queen. And she's like,
we have to be heading back soon.
yeah. She's like, shit, we need to get back to the party. I'm sorry. We can always come back, I promise. Do you want to take any more of the books?
Is there a gray one? Or like a gray or black? Or what colors are there?
There is maroon, there's blue, you already opened the green one, there's kind of like a copper-y one, and then there's a purple one. At the very, very end, there is a black book with no pages in it. There are no pages in that book. It's just the spine, but it is still glowing.
That one.
You grab that one.
Ooh.
Okay. Weird flex, but okay. You grab that book. Heather kind of gives you a weird look, but she doesn't question it. So you grab the book and you make your way back to the front of the library. And you see this rabbit hole, and she's like, all right, hold on again. We're headed back to the party.
We gotta get the bracelet.
Before you can like turn around, so you turn around and you're like, we gotta get the brace. She jumps into the rabbit hole with you.
Okay.
Do you want to go look for the good doctor? Or do you want to stay at the party? Or do you want to go exploring? What do you want to do and how? Do you want to check in with Lost Girl? Do you want to check in with Phoenix? Do you want to check in with Princess or Prince or Queen? What are you doing and how?
I think I'm going to look around.
You're going to look around. You won't have access to the castle. However, you have access to all of the garden space. And you want to look around, correct?
Correct.
Roll d20 for me. That one. Ooh, you have 8. Okay, so that's an 8. So you go to look around, and you don't really see much. You're just kind of wandering in the gardens. You're following the pretty fairy lights. You're very, like, you almost try and like go and like touch one of the fairies, and they go, "Arr!" And they try to bite your finger as you go to touch them. So yeah, and these are fairies, not pixies. Pixies are benevolent.
Ooh, yeah.
Fairies are kind of nasty. Pixies are kind of sweet. I switched it. So yeah, you try to go and touch one of the fairies that are holding up these lights, and they try to bite your finger, and you're like, oh, okay, not pixies, cool. Not a pixie, love that. Pixies are also a little bit bigger. You can actually see pixies like from head to toe. They're about maybe 5 inches. Fairies are about 5 centimeters. They itty bitty, but their teeth are razor sharp. Oh, I love it. Teeth are razor sharp. They're not venomous. They just kind of feel like, you know, when you're sewing and you like put a pin in your finger on accident. Yeah. Imagine like 10 of those taking a bite out of your finger. That's kind of what it feels like. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not really painful or like destructive in any way, but it's kind of annoying. Are you still in the maze? Are you still exploring, or have you made your way back to the party yet?
I think I'm still exploring.
You're still exploring. Roll another D20 for me. This time at advantage because you've been exploring for a little while.
That is 6.
And then one more. Take the higher number. Please don't let the higher number be a 6. Jesus Christ.
8.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. 7 plus 8 is 15.
Yes.
Haha! You did it! You notice rabbit holes at various spots within the maze. So you look down at the ground and you see like a rabbit hole, and then you keep going and you see another rabbit hole, and you keep walking and you see a little bit bigger rabbit hole, and you just see along the path various little rabbit holes along. Hey, loves. Various little rabbit holes within the maze. Would you like to explore them at all?
I think so.
Roll a d12. Oh. Yes, roll a d12 for me. I didn't say I had advantage.
9. It was rolling off the table, so.
You're fine. No, you're good. 23 plus 9 is what?
32.
Booyah, homie. Okay. So, describe for me, do you stick your hand in one of the rabbit holes? Do you look inside one of the rabbit holes? What do you do? Do you stick your foot in one of the rabbit holes? What are you doing?
I get on the ground and I lean my head inside.
With your 32, you see that it is the beginning of a portal to a different realm, just a different world altogether. But you hear like cars honking, and you smell like gasoline and salt water and like dirt and soil and stuff, and you start to feel something like crawling on your hand, and it's not magical, it's just an ant, and it's just a regular ordinary little ant. But as soon as it starts crawling up your arm, because of where your hand is in the portal, crawling, as it gets to like your wrist, it morphs into something completely different. It morphs into a horsefly, and it's a rocking horse with wings, and it flies off of your wrist. So that's what you smell and hear. And you start in your mouth to feel a little bit of like acidy taste, almost. Kind of like copper, kind of like battery static taste almost. And you're there, and you have your hand in this portal, and you're looking in. What do you do?
I think I am going to...
You back up. Oh, wait. You back up or you go in?
I think I'm going to back up.
You back up. You back up so far that your heel touches a different one. This heel touches, and again, you're flooded with a different set of smells and senses and things like that. You can hear birds chirping, but they're not like any birds that you've ever heard before. You hear giant wings flapping. You can feel the magic in your fingers. You don't have magic here, but you know that this is magic because your fingertips start to tingle a little bit, and you assume that's what magic feels like. And you smell this just kind of sweetness to the air, not nearly as bad as like lolly, because lolly is like pungent, just like sugarcane all the time. This is more of a like crisp, almost apple type sweetness, and it's just very clean, and it's kind of sweet, but it's not overbearing. And you look down at your heel, and you see it's a forest, but it's floating. It's like a floating forest of some kind. Now what do you do? Do you move away? Do you try to explore that one a little bit more?
I think I am being overwhelmed by these weird things, so I am going to try to back away.
Okay, so you move forward and you try to back away, and your hand, you like back into one of the maze walls, and your hand is, so here's the portal, your hand is like right on top of it, and you hear screaming. You just hear all sorts of screaming of various different natures. People are being tortured. This is not a good scream. And you smell sulfur. And you smell just this burning of things. And you hear screams, and you hear this like girthy, that's what I'm saying, girthy like cackle from like somewhere beyond. And your hand, it starts to burn a little bit. Not to the point where like you're gonna take damage, but you definitely feel heat.
What the hell is this?
On your hand.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember what I told you last week? Yeah. So you start to feel a little bit of heat on your hand. It's not burning you, and it's not causing you any pain, but you can definitely feel heat there. You pull your hand away, and you look at your hand, and there's a little bit of a pentagram scar on there. And you still hear the screams until you back far enough away. Once you back far enough away from that particular portal, the scar disappears. Scar is gone. Pentagram no longer on your hand. You don't feel any heat. You don't hear anybody screaming. What is your next step?
Okay, I think I am going to back away from the rabbit holes. I think that's enough.
Oh, they're all over the maze. You can't unsee them now. You're just very careful of where you step.
Yeah.
Do you want to interact with any more of them and see if you can find something better? Or do you just want to get out of the maze?
I might try to find a better one.
Okay. You said 32,
Yes.
correct? You notice ever so slightly, every couple minutes, these holes change position. So where you were stepping on it originally with like your heel, now it's all the way up, so you'll have to like reach for it. And the portals change direction. They're still circles and they're still holes, but they change position, and they change every couple minutes or so. Would you like to explore one more?
I think so.
Do you look for one that's like at chest level? Do you look for one at eye level? Where?
Chest level.
Chest level. Cool. So you're looking around and you don't really see anyone at like chest level until you turn around, and there's this one that's like kind of pulsating orange almost, and is just kind of emitting this orange-ish light. And it's at chest level. And you're kind of drawn to it. You really are.
Okay.
And you're drawn to it, and you're walking, and you look inside. And once again, you hear screaming, and you hear cackling, and you feel this heat about it, and you smell brimstone and tires melting and all that stuff. But it's not as intense as it was before. It's much more mild. It's almost as if you're looking down at this scene instead of right in the center of it, like you were before. So it's very, very similar. And it's all the same smells and all the same sounds and all the same visions and everything like that. But instead of being in the middle of it, you're kind of looking from above, down at it, almost. Do you still keep looking? Or at this point, are you trying to dip and tell somebody about this, or do you want to tell anybody about
I
this?
think I'm going to tell someone about this.
Okay. Who do you go tell? Excuse me, do you burst into the party like, y'all bitches gotta come see this shit? Or Do you walk in and just try to find a familiar face to tell this to?
I try to find a familiar face.
Or do you do somewhere in between? Where it's just like you burst in, don't say anything, look for a familiar face, and then go to that person and be like, you gotta come see this shit.
I think the other one. I think the hybrid one.
The hybrid. Okay. Do you look for Lost Girl? Do you look for Phoenix? Do you look for Isaac? Do you look for Heather? Do you look for... Who are you looking for?
I look for Phoenix.
You look for... Okay, interesting choice. Kind of love that dynamic. It's very Ross and Phoebe, but I like it. Hi, bestie.
Hello.
You're still... Oh, I forgot to tell you. Last time when we were at the bar... we kind of had some deep talks. We shared a little bit of backstory. You didn't really share anything. You kind of like to keep things a little close to the chest. But Harry just gave you this big long speech and it made you feel things. And do you want to... And you guys are still intensely talking and just kind of making jokes and getting to know each other and things like that. So if you want more information on Harry, I will definitely give it to you. Just kind of quirky things you would ask like on a first date or something like that. But you guys are talking and you're happy and you're good. Would you like to share anything about your backstory with just Harry?
Not right now. I don't think.
Okay. Do you have anything that you would like to ask Harry?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So, enlighten me. Humor me, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys talk about?
I mean, honestly, I don't know.
What do you typically talk about on a first date?
And literally, it depends on the person. I ask them, like, what does he do for fun? I'm horrible at first dates.
All right, let me lead because I'm great at first dates.
Love.
I'm freaking great at first dates. So he's like, I know you have magic, but I don't really know the type of magic. What do you do?
Well, I can shift into any animal that I can think of in my head. As long as I can picture it, I can make it happen.
That's really cool. So does it take a lot out of you? Or are you tired afterwards?
Exhausted, yeah, but
Well, it depends on the size of the animal.
true.
Yeah, it depends on the size of the animal.
Yeah, so depending on the size of the animal, yes, but if it's something small, it's like nothing. But anything big is going to take me a while to recover from.
Aww. And he kind of looks kind of smug and he's like, prove it.
Okay, what do you want to see?
And he takes a minute and he thinks, and because you got to remember they're in the Kingdom of Lolly. I've read about Montanugini, which is where you're from, and I've heard of these animals called chameleons, and they look so cool in pictures, but I've never actually seen one here in Lolly. Do you know what that is?
Absolutely, yeah. And then I think I would try and, well, I guess I don't know if I could, but I would transform into one and then I change it to whatever color, like, his outfit is.
Aww! How cute! So, you give him a smile, and in a puff of, you said your favorite color was blue, teal?
Yeah.
In a puff of bluish tealish smoke, you turn into a chameleon that's this brilliant, like almost Jolly Rancher blue color.
Mm-hmm.
And you crawl up his arm and you go on his shoulder and you turn into the color on his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And then you like crawl up on like his neck and you like plant a little chameleon kiss on his cheek. And then you like kind of crawl kind of behind and down onto his fingertips and he's holding out like that. And then you transform into a brilliant red cardinal. and you fly from his fingertips, and you swirl around, and he's looking at you, and you're magnificent. And then you turn into your namesake, same shade as like his jacket or whatever, and you turn into your namesake of a brilliant red phoenix. And from the cardinal, poof, blue smoke, phoenix, and you're like, even your tail is in like flames a little bit, and you swirl around, and you come back down, and you land on the floor, and then once again in a puff of smoke, you're back in that blue dress, and the ends of your dress are a little bit charred because it was fire. So the ends of your dress are a little bit charred, but he kind of likes it. So you guys are laughing and things like that. He's like, that was amazing. Can you, and then as he's asking you to, do like something else, or he's like trying to find out more about you, Akima bursts in, and she is sweating and pale-faced. She looks like she's almost seen a ghost, and she's looking around trying to find anybody that will talk to her. And she sees everybody is busy because your back is kind of turned to her, but she sees that you're in intense conversation with Harry, and she's like, guess I'll interrupt them. She spins you around. She's like, I have to show you something now.
Yes, I'm gonna be like, hey, you gotta come see this.
You do that, and you grab her by the wrist, and you're like pulling her away, and she yells back to Harry, we'll still talk about this later.
Yep.
And you're pulling her, and she comes with you, and you lead her inside this maze. 18. Okay, so you notice that there are things moving on the wall, and they kind of look like shadows almost. They're not very spherical, but they're kind of spherical, and you just see them moving constantly, and you're thinking, what is all of this? Akima just kind of stops in her tracks, and you kind of bump into her, but not bump into her, you know what I'm saying? So you're like, okay. She's like, look. What? She's like, look, put your hand on the hole. Do you put your hand on the hole?
I think I put my hand on the hole.
Okay, so you put your hand kind of next to the hole, and you kind of look in, and you see kind of like this floating forest almost. It's very foggy, but it's a very nice, very gentle fog, and you smell this apple-like sweetness in the air, and you sense magic, but it's different magic than here in the Kingdom of Lolly. It's different, and it feels nice, and you just kind of feel almost euphoric, and it's very happy, and you're just flooded with all of these happy, very intense feelings of just kind of being home and being happy and just light as air. That's how you feel. You describe to her what you feel. She pulls you back, and she's like, okay, that's the wrong one. And she looks around a little bit, kind of shifty almost, very, very intense. She's very scared about something almost. And she turns you, and she places your hand on a different one. And you hear this very loud traffic. And the air smells of almost like battery acid almost, and you take kind of this coppery feeling in your mouth, and it's very, very loud and very intense, and you hear honking and screaming, and it's almost like New York City, and it's just so intense, and you don't like, there's no magic there, by the way. So you're just like, I don't like this at all. Get me away. I don't like it. No, you yank your hand away. You don't know what these things are. Do you ask?
Yeah. Literally, what am I looking at?
But excuse me, the fuck? What is this?
She's like, apparently they're rabbit holes or portals of some kind, but I'm trying to find the right, and she's like looking around and stuff like that. I'm trying to find the right, and then she looks off into the distance, and all you see is just another hole. But you can tell that she sees something a little bit different than what you see. Do you search for the one that you want,
Yes.
or do you just
I try to
put her in different holes?
I try to search for the one that I saw.
Gotcha. You keep looking in holes and you keep not seeing, like you're ducking down and you're making, like checking every single rabbit hole that you can find. And finally, at the very end of the maze, you see the faintest orange light coming from one of the rabbit holes. But this rabbit hole is kind of high. You're not quite sure if she can like just go up and just look at it. She might have to like go up and like reach it, like reach for the sky type thing. But because you're taller than she is, you could probably stand on your tippy toes and look into it. So you rush over. Do you stand on your tippy toes, or you're just like, that one?
I stand on my toes first.
You stand on your toes, you look in, and you hear the screaming again. And you feel the heat, and you smell the brimstone, and it's exactly as you remember the first time. But again, it's not as intense, because you can only vaguely see over the edge of the rabbit hole. Roll a d20 for me.
Yes, ma'am.
And add a d8.
11.
Okay.
16.
Total?
Total.
Oh, you just made it, babes. You just made it. Okay. So, edges of the rabbit hole hold steady, and you're just peeking over the top, and you can just barely see it. So your forehead's kind of warm right now. Your forehead's kind of warm, but you're good. As you're looking into it, checking to make sure it's the right one, it closes and then shifts and just moves down to like the ground. And your hand is now kind of caught in the like you could yank it out, but your hand is kind of caught in the topiary because it didn't open another portal. It just kind of shifted.
I pull it out.
You pull your hand out, and you're just like, follow that hole.
Yeah.
And she's like, follow the what? Hole. Follow that rabbit hole. And you chase after this rabbit hole, but now that you're chasing it, it keeps moving. It is mad dashing from you.
Follow it.
Yeah, you're following it, and you're running, and you said 16?
Yeah.
As you're running, and as the rabbit hole keeps moving, the maze under you starts to shift and move, and there are vines coming up from the bottom. And you know that scene in Goblet of Fire where they're going through the impossible maze?
Yes.
And the vines and stuff start crawling up, and yeah, that's what's happening. Because of your training, you easily leap and bound, and you're chasing this hole. Here, 16. Yeah, because it's ever changing, sometimes you stumble, but not really. You turn the same corner, and it's just fingers of just different pathways that you can go down. And you have no idea which one she went into. Roll a d20. Roll a d20.
7.
Rip. Roll a d12.
11.
Team?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's good.
Okay.
So now, you take the very first path on the right, and you mad dash, and you see another rabbit hole, another portal, but you don't see Akima. Do you look in the rabbit hole?
Mm-hmm.
So you look in the rabbit hole. You recognize this place. It's Silver Spire. You're back in Silver Spire. You hear kind of the whirring of the monorail. You hear the buzz of technology, and it's Silver Spire. You're like, okay, I know that one, but it's a dead end. That circle is not moving. It's vibrating a little bit, but it's not moving. You go back, roll a d6. 3. Go 2 over, and you take path 3. Again, another dead end, another tunnel, or another rabbit hole. Do you look in that one?
Yes.
You look in it, it's Montanagini.
Cool.
You're just like, oh, I know this place. You see the volcano in the hole, and you're just like, oh, they're gonna get an earthquake in a couple hours. Sucks to suck. Like, you just kind of feel the vibrations on the ground. You're like, oh, an earthquake's coming. Suckers. So that's Montanagini. You go back to the place again, not moving, kind of vibrating. Roll a d6 again.
6.
Ooh, okay. 6 leads you to the opposite end of Lolly. It essentially takes you back to the train station that you were at. But you're still in the Kingdom of Lolly, it's just the opposite side. So Phoenix falls behind, and you turn a corner and she's gone. Like, she was not able to follow you because you are mad dashing towards this thing, and it stops. It just stops, and it's kind of at your chest level, and it's a big hole, and it's pulsating very large, orangey red. And do you stop? Do you keep running towards it?
I stop.
You stop. You see it. You're about, like, if I imagine, like, I'm the wall of the maze,
Yeah.
and you're where you are. So Akima is where you are right now. So that's about how far away, and you stop and you just look at it. You still hear the screams. You still smell the brimstone. Do you walk towards it? Do you walk away?
I'm in the sense that you think I should walk away.
It's up to you. It would make it a lot more fun if you didn't. It would be a lot more fun if you didn't, but you... Walk away. You don't even know this is happening. You're just stressing that you want to ask a pretty girl to dance.
I'm just doing meta birds.
You're good. So, do you walk away, or do you go towards the pulsating entrance to hell?
Okay, I think my instinct is starting to kick in. I am going to back away now and wait for Phoenix.
Okay. What is the name that your father used? Mima.
Nima. Yeah.
Mima, that's it. So you turn to walk away, and you just hear one of the voices that's very, very familiar to you. Mima, Mima, save me, Mima, save me, please, Mima. And then you hear okay, first of all, before you hear what I think you're going to hear, do you go towards it? Do you stop? Do you hesitate? Or do you just keep walking away?
I hesitate now.
You hesitate. You hesitate. Do you? And you just hear, Mima, come save me.
Okay, maybe I've been watching Stranger Things too much, but everything I've learned, I think I should not go towards the creature.
You don't want to go to. Please go towards it.
Okay, maybe
Just a little bit. Just a little bit more.
a little bit closer.
So you turn around and you see it, and you take 2 steps forward, and you hear this little giggle almost of like this little girl. This little girl says, Mommy, I'm flying. Mommy, look at me, I'm flying. And it fades off. You are flying, my little Mima. Look at you go. Look at you go. And then you're like, Mommy, higher, higher, Mommy. And you keep walking towards it? Or no?
Yes.
You keep walking towards it. And you hear, not so high, little Mima. Not so high. You're going to get hurt. And then you hear the little girl scream. And she's screaming and screaming. And then you just hear, Mima! And it fades away. And then the portal you were looking at closes and does not open again. From here, you said 32 was your previous one? Okay.
3 plus 9.
Oh, you see that the colors of the leaves on the maze have gotten darker, and you see some sort of black-ish image coming up. It looks like a man. This man just says, poor little soldier, missing her mommy. Too bad. I could show her to you. Come with me. And the shadow reaches out his hand.
Nope.
You mad dash away. You're just like, you know what? That's a big nope. And you turn around and you run back to where you last saw Phoenix, and you just hear a man's voice. You can't deny me forever. I will have your head, Akima. I will have your head. As you run away, you're running away from this thing, and a whole bunch of portals are opening and closing around you and moving and shifting. And it's all very, very fast, faster than you've ever seen these portals move. And you're running and you're running. You crash into Phoenix. Boof. Yeah, and you both fall to the ground. Once again, she is pale in the face. She looks like she's seen a ghost. Because she has. Because she did. Anyways, so she looks like she's seen a ghost. She is sweating. She is not okay. But she's just like, let's go back to the party. Let's go back to the party. And you're like, okay. You good? Question mark? And she's like, no. No. So you kind of lead her back to the party. And this is where Harry kind of jumps in, and he grabs Phoenix's hand, and he's like, we need to continue our conversation. And she's like, give me a sec. Bestie's going through it. Bestie going through, I don't know what she's going through exactly, but she's kind of going through it. And he's like, oh, word? Can I help? Question mark. Can he help?
Sure.
He doesn't know the situation.
I saw portals in the maze.
He's like, yeah, portals, for sure. We use them for diplomatic reasons. He's very nonchalant about the mass of rabbit holes that y'all have going on. And he's like, yeah, they're rabbit holes. We use them for diplomatic reasons. This is when Akima pipes up, and she's like, even the hellhole? And he's like, yeah, even the hellhole. It's a little known fact that my mother is having an affair with the devil.
Oh my gosh.
You guys, some fanfics there to be had.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very much so.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it is a known fact that the queen married, or remarried, I should say, after she had Heather and Harry. It is a known fact that the king of Lolly is not Heather and Harry's father. He physically can't be. He's their adoptive father.
Yeah.
But because they're kids and they married each other, they're still first in line for the throne. All that royal goodness. Roll a d6 for me.
3.
You put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
You put 2 and 2 together. Real quick, like, them's the devil's kids. Harry and Heather are the byproduct, but are the byproduct of the devil and the Queen of Hearts, the Red Queen.
Oh my god.
You're still in the middle of the dance floor. You don't know.
Oh, I know, but my commentary is cold sometimes.
Gold. It's wonderful. Wonderful.
I can metagame for humor.
Akima, no idea. She has 2 brain cells, and one brain cell is like survive. The other brain cell is like murder. 2 brain cells. That's it. She's like,
no. Thank you.
yeah. She's like, okay, hellhole, devil, Red Queen, Heather, Harry. That's 5 brain cells that I don't have. That I am not. that I am not in possession of this week.
Left them at the strip club. With
Candy.
With candy.
Harry is like, okay, I saw a gear click in your head. I feel like we need to talk. So he takes your hand, brings you back to the corner that you guys were residing in. Isaac, what are you doing? You're still praying? Are you still recapping? Or have you taken it all in and just kind of processed what you needed to process?
Yeah, so with all that just happened, which, by the way, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Would I know what it means, like the location? Like, do I know what it means, what I saw?
Absolutely. You would know that each of the charms corresponds with each of the kingdoms. Because the images were kind of vague, you don't know exactly where they are, because it could be multiple different locations. But you can imagine, and you can probably figure it out if you work real hard.
So because I rolled to see where the lost air is, and these images help me are helping me to figure out how many. So these are images that each guy saw. Is to help me find him.
Mm-hmm. So.
Do it. Okay.
We'll get there. I promise. Let this play. Let it rock. I'm getting there. I promise. I have a plan. But those images... No. Those images are going to help you out. I promise.
Yeah, I quickly take out a journal. Kind of a journal down. Funny enough, he has a journal that he writes down that about stuff that keeps happening. So he immediately goes to a journal and just feverishly writes everything he sees in his mind that was seen to him.
Gotcha. After that, do you make your way back to the party? Do you try to go find somebody specific? Do you what are your thoughts, feelings, and ideas?
What I would like to do is maybe go find is there like a beautiful dark-skinned elf in that party by any chance?
Probably. You'll have to go find her, but you can look.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around, see if I can find.
So you'll go back to the party and you'll start people watching. I love that for you. Most people are mixing and mingling. Roll a D20 for me. Just straight D20.
13.
There is a dark-skinned elven-born at kind of the opposite end of the dance floor from you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a little shy, and so is she. So you don't immediately go to ask her out or ask her to dance. You just kind of look at each other from across the way and hope one of you makes the first move. But neither of you make the first move quite yet. You see Isaac on the opposite side of the dance floor, sweating bullets. Sweating bullets, shaky glass of champagne in his hand. And he is staring kind of through the crowd. Not really staring at anything or anyone. He's just kind of staring off into the void.
I'll be right back. And I'm gonna go check on Isaac really quick.
Okay.
Or if you
No. You're, huh?
Or if you want to come with, but I'm gonna go check on him real quick.
Heather goes to get you guys some lemonade, some tea or champagne.
Cool.
Yeah. So you go check on Isaac. He is shaky and sweating bullets, and you're like, you good?
Are we nervous about the crowd, or is there something I missed?
He's like, this isn't really my scene. I don't like large crowds, but I'm hoping to kind of blend in, and I'm trying to find somebody to dance with, but I think I'm just gonna stick to the background for a little while. I'm just gonna try to blend as best I can, but I'm good otherwise. And he's just, you can see the cogs turn in his head. He's thinking about something other than trying to ask somebody to dance. But yeah, he's thinking about anything and everything, and he has a girl in mind, but he's never asked anybody to dance before, and he's very nervous about it. And he's thinking alcohol will help, but he hasn't taken a sip of his alcohol at all. He's just kind of standing there, just kind of holding the flute, not sipping it. He's like, okay, maybe this will help if I just hold it and wish and pray to get a little bit of confidence. But this is not his scene. He's very socially awkward. He's such a sweet bean. He's used to being in a nurse's office with only him. He's just so nervous. He's so nervous. What do you do?
I was gonna say, because what I would do is I'd just be like, so who do we want to dance with? Or do you want to go dance with me to break the ice?
Okay.
And then you'd already have the first dance out of the way, so then you can go find someone to dance with. That's what.
Okay, yeah, I can. This is a minor detail in the story, so it's not gonna fuck with anything if you do that. So I'm gonna say you do that.
Excellent.
And he's like, well, there's this very pretty girl over there. She has ebony skin, elf ears. She's in a green dress. She has long black hair. She's gorgeous. She's an elf, and she looks just as nervous as he does. But neither of them want to make the first move. And he's like, she's very pretty. I don't know. And he's like kind of picking at his like fingers. And he's like, I don't know. She's pretty. I don't know.
Oh no, I'll totally wiggle in it for she giggles.
Oh, I love that. You go over.
My friend would like
Friend with
dance. Would you like to dance with him?
And she's like, oh, I'd like to, but I've been told I'm a bit overbearing, so I don't want to make the first move.
I'll just hold my hand out, like.
Okay. She takes your hand, and
I just whisk her away to him and take his hand and just put their hands together, and I'm like, here you go, have fun, and I send them off.
aww, that's so cute.
Like,
You do
Dr.
that.
Isaac, your name, my dear? Like, whatever her name
Tara.
is. Tara? Dr.
Tara.
Isaac? Tara, Dr. Isaac. Go forth and prosper.
You're just pimping everybody out, okay?
I gently take my hat. I bow to her and say, Miss Tara. And he slowly takes on his hand. May I have a dance with you, my lady?
She accepts your hand and she lets you lead her to the dance floor. And when you ask, may I have this dance, she nods, takes your hands, you lead her to the dance floor. So you wait for the next song to start, and it's one of those slower songs. So you start dancing with the lovely Tara, and yeah, she starts dancing, you start dancing, you guys are having a lovely time. Do you want to take a look around the room to see what everybody else is doing?
Sure.
Roll for me a D12 and add your modifier, which is 14.
I got 22.
22. So, you know that Heather and Lost Girl are having the time of their life.
Yes.
Having the time of their life on the dance floor. I've had the time of my life. Having the time of their life in the middle of the dance floor. They look incredibly happy with each other and with the scene. The Red Queen is looking very pensively, tapping on her wine flute, kind of annoyed, but just kind of like not really causing any like interference or anything like that, just low-key annoyed. In the corner, Harry and Phoenix seem to be having a very intense conversation. Akima is just coming out of the maze. She looks kind of terrified, but kind of bursting at the seams with information. And but she's not shaking. She keeps it very calm, but her face, you can just kind of tell that she's kind of worried about something. She's not drinking anything. She doesn't have anything in her hands. She's just kind of standing there and observing.
So I noticed something's wrong with Akima. Like she looks upset.
Yeah.
I said, Tara, can you just give me just one moment?
You excuse yourself from the dance floor with Tara, and she goes to like the buffet table and like starts like eating some like cookies or something like that. No issue. She understands. You go over to Akima, and what do you say?
Is everything all right? You look perturbed.
Yes, that's one way to put it.
What happened?
I saw a doorway to hell, and I am potentially marked, but I don't know what that means.
You see Isaac's eyes go wide like, what? they have a portal to hell? Was that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Why on earth would they have something like that even open?
It's a good question.
Well, you know the answer to why they have it open.
Yes, because they use them for diplomacy.
That's one way of putting it.
Yes.
They use the rabbit holes for diplomacy, but he is specifically asking why they have a portal to hell. Would you like to share the information that you know?
Apparently the queen is good friends with the devil.
Good friends. Okay.
We need my friends, like, what are we talking about?
I'm sorry. Go for it, Akima. What would you like to respond? How would you like to respond?
I don't know if I can respond.
What do you mean you don't know if you can respond? You have free will.
The queen is apparently having an affair with the devil.
Isaac just processes that, just takes that in for a moment, and he's like, what the fuck? What the? Well, I don't understand why.
You don't understand why?
Yeah.
You don't understand. Okay, wait a minute. You don't understand why she's having an affair. You don't understand why she's having an affair with the devil. You don't understand why she's still having an affair and still has a portal open. You don't understand why she has portals open.
It's all of it. It's just like, he just doesn't understand, like, why is she even doing this?
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. Do we have any other questions, comments, concerns other than why?
does anyone else know about this?
Does anyone else know about this?
No, Harry does.
Do you know it's going to be an issue? Or...
I love how your first question is this going to be a problem? Are we going to have an issue? Like, if you go to hell, it's going to be an issue that... Oh my god. Also, pretty much everybody in the kingdom knows that the Red Queen is having an affair, but not all of them know it's with the devil. Her kids know because, hey, the kingdom of Lolly, their king, is not their father. The king of Lolly is not their father. So Heather and Harry know that the king of Lolly is not their father. They know that they were born out of wedlock and their mother married after they were born. But they don't quite know where the devil fits in yet. All they know is that their mother is still currently having an affair with him. So that's all they know so far. Would you two like to put the pieces to fucking together?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Wait a minute. Your intelligence, unless you roll really, really high, you wouldn't be able to figure this out.
Well, there's a 5%
Roll a roll a d20.
Yes, there's a 5% chance I'll get it.
Can I roll too?
Shh. Give me a second.
9.
Sure.
6 plus 3, 9.
What's that, 12? No, 9.
No, I can roll 6.
Oh. Sucker! Alex, your intelligence is +6, so you might have a chance of figuring this out. So roll a d20 and add 6 for me.
16.
You put the pieces together. You put 2 and 2 together to figure out that Harry and Heather are the offspring of the Red Queen and the devil. Akima, you don't put the pieces together at all. You just know information.
Right.
But it doesn't, it's just info. None of it clicks together for you. Isaac, would you like to share the information that you now know? Or would you just like to rock with
Absolutely. No, I tell her
it? You tell her what?
that they're not what you said, they're not the king's kid, but they're the kids of the devil.
The good doctor tells you, hey, that Punnett square doesn't math. The math ain't mathin'. Them kids are not the king's kids.
Oh boy.
That's pretty much common knowledge. Because pretty much everybody knows that the queen had kids and then married the king of Lolly. So that's common knowledge. But he tells you, hey, the punnin' square ain't punnin'. They're the devil's, kids.
That does not sound good.
Math be mathin' now.
Oh.
Do you have a reaction to this information?
Oh, you should.
Theo, you're still dancing with your princess. And the penguins bring out this huge cake. Huge cake, a lot of layers, a lot of buttercream, a lot of candy. And the crowd starts singing, happy birthday to you, happy birthday. So at this point, have you or have you not given her your present yet?
I guess probably at some point when we were dancing, when I noticed her cheeks, I probably would have made a comment about it.
And given her the bracelet?
And I'm like, oh, that reminds me of something. We're dancing and her cheeks, if her cheeks settle on parts for a bit, that reminds me of something. I got something for you. Oh. And I'll pull out the charm bracelet.
She graciously accepts the gift, and as she's putting it on, she realizes that she no longer has the queen's charm bracelet. This is when she realized she left it in the library. Cake's coming out. She doesn't have time to go get it. She's like, you know what? It'll still be there when we get back.
Famous last words.
Kinda.
So sure.
Yep. She's like, you know what? It'll still be there when we get back. She's very grateful for the bracelet. And she's like, I'm never taking this off.
Aww.
Crowd starts singing, happy birthday to you. And as the cake is coming to Heather, you kind of hear the mass of song start to dim. But you just think that's because you're intensely looking at the cake and you're intensely looking at Heather and things like that. So you're just thinking, oh, this is all just mental. You're in the center of the dance floor and you notice, roll a d4.
Oh, God. Blow for luck.
Oh gosh. Wait, blow for luck?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Okay. You just passed.
Yes.
So you notice...
Without you.
So you notice that the fairy lights that are surrounding the garden are actual, fairies holding little tea lights.
I'm like, I know what those are.
Yeah, fairies, not pixies. You're used to pixies. These are fairies. They're a little bit smaller, and where pixies are good and they're good-hearted and things like that. Yeah, they're mischievous, but they're good-hearted and things like that, and they have dust and things like that. You know, pixies. Fairies are a little bit different realm. They're kind of the parallel opposite of pixies. Mm-hmm. They don't play nice with humans, and they're all about bargaining and making deals. They're not going to do something if it doesn't benefit them.
Gotcha.
And fairies are a little bit smaller, so they're very, very sensitive to all types of magic.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that some of the fairies' tea lights are either turned off or blown out by the fairy. And then said fairy zips away. And you notice that a bunch of fairies start doing that. And then even more start to do that. So the room is becoming, or the
Actually dimmer.
yes, actually dimmer.
Gotcha.
But you don't really notice it too much because of the big cake that just came out.
I just noticed the ones here.
Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah, exactly. So Heather blows out her candles, she makes a big wish, and as she's making the wish, you don't kind of realize that she's making a wish, but as she makes her wish, she kind of squeezes your hand a little bit. I know. She squeezes your hand a little bit, and she blows out her candles. And after she blows out the candles, that's when you start to notice that things are a bit off. You can't tell if it's good, can't tell if it's bad. They're just kind of not right. Exactly. Isaac, you notice that some of the lights are starting to dim around the party. You notice that some of the fairies are starting to drop, or they're starting to fly away. And then more start to fly away. And then even more start to fly away or drop. And it's becoming very, very dark here. People are starting to notice. Roll a d12 for me.
What room it had?
Nothing.
3.
Oof.
Yeah, I know.
Yikes. You just think this is a funny coincidence. You don't recognize why this is happening. You're just like, oh, maybe we're bringing out the cake for candles or something.
Right.
Yeah, this is just like, okay, cool. Like you don't really know why this is happening. And then as time goes on, people start fainting. Just randomly just start fainting.
Oh, people?
People at the party just start fainting. And
can I quickly cast Detect Good and Evil?
Sure.
What I roll for that?
Roll a d20 at disadvantage.
12.
12. You cast it, and it doesn't take anything out of you, but it doesn't really tell you any, like, it senses that there's magic in the area, and it senses that it's not good, but it doesn't tell you exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah. Does it tell me that it's evil or no?
It tells you that it's evil, but it doesn't tell you what degree of evil. Technically,
Okay, that's
technically speaking, Heather would light up as Detect Evil too, and so would the Red Queen. Yeah, it detects evil in this place, but it doesn't tell you which one. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. It's evil, but I don't know what it is. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know.
Yeah, it's evil. Roll a d4.
2.
You still have no idea what this is. You don't know what's going on. You still don't put 2 and 2 together.
Okay, that's fair.
Yep. You would have had to get a nat 4 to put this together.
That's fine.
So you don't put 2 and 2 together. You just know that something is happening and it's not good.
Okay, that's fine. I tell Kiva, let's go and get Phoenix and Lost Girl. Something's wrong. Something's happening. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have a bad feeling.
Okay. So, Akima, where do you go? How do you go?
I am going to follow him. Wherever we.
Lost Girl is in the center of the room with Heather.
Right.
You're about here. Phoenix is about here. So you could easily, both of you could easily make it to Lost Girl, but if you want to get like Phoenix and Harry to come with you, you're going to have to go over to them and bring them.
Yes, I will go to Phoenix and Harry.
Lovely. Love that. So, Isaac, do you follow, or are you going directly to Lost Girl?
I'm I'm going to go direct to Lost Girl to meet up to go to Akima and Phoenix.
Okay. Akima says, hey, I'm gonna go get Phoenix and Harry. She starts walking. As you go to turn to walk towards Lost Girl, your feet sink into the tile of the dance floor. And you're stuck.
Who's stuck?
You. You.
Okay.
You're stuck. Your feet are now about ankle deep in just what looks like black tar. Yeah. You can't really move. And if you try to move, you'll sink.
Okay. I remain perfectly still, and I yell to Kima, I can't move. I can't move. Go get Lost Girl and Phoenix right now.
Akima, you get about halfway to Phoenix and Harry, and your feet also sink. Ironically, you guys are both standing on black tiles at the moment, and you are also now ankle deep in what seems like black tar, and you're not too bright. So you try to move, and you sink a little, so you're about calf deep in the tar. Finally, you put or Isaac yells to you, stop moving! And you stop, and you're just like, I don't know what's happening. This is when you feel the ground beneath you become not as solid as it was before. Now it's kind of jelly, almost. It's kind of wobbly. And you're like, oh, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
You also feel in Heather's hands that the magic almost turned off. Like, immediately. And her skin became very, very cold. Not in a way that she's like turned to ice, but it was almost like a chill like ran down her body or something like that. You turn around, see Akima. What do you do?
And try and reach for her.
Yeah, you do. Oh, I'm so good at my job. You go to reach for her, and she's like, stop, just as you're about to step on a black tile.
Don't step on the black tiles.
What do you do?
Step on a white tile.
You step on a white tile! Yeah, you do! You step on a white tile, and as you're reaching for her, you freeze in time. You completely freeze. Just, your skin is still like skin, it's not like ice or anything.
Yeah.
But you're frozen in time. You're frozen in time. And Harry comes up behind you and is like, wait, taps your shoulder or grabs your shoulder. Now he is frozen in time as well. Even though he's not standing on any tiles, he is also frozen in time. Yes, it's that time of night, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Everybody else in the ball has fainted. Champagne is spilling, tea is mixing with champagne. It's very gross. And they've all fainted. Even the Red Queen herself has fainted. And the only light that is on this party right now is the beautiful crystal chandelier that hangs from nowhere, just hangs in the sky in the middle of the dance floor. That is the only source of light that is here right now. From the maze that surrounds the dance floor, right? Because you're in the middle of a garden, right? From the maze, the shadow comes out and says, well. I'm getting a sense of deja vu. I feel feel like we've done, and as he's talking, he's floating around the dance floor, staying in the darkness, floating around the dance floor. I feel like we've been here before. Only this time, most of you are a little bit more intelligent. He goes directly to you, Akima. I wonder. He takes one finger and touches it to your forehead. I can touch you now. And he touches your forehead, like your skin, not your shadow. He touches your skin. And it sends a shiver down your spine. And he just holds it there. And the longer he holds it there, the colder you feel. You don't feel pain, you just feel cold.
How far away from him is? How far away is he from me? Like 20 feet away from me?
More or less.
And the tar we're in, is it magical?
Yes, technically. Are you trying to feather step?
No, what I'm trying to do, if it's magical, and I see Kima being touched by this guy, I'm gonna quietly dispel magic so that way Kima can break free and try to get away from him.
Oh. Okay. Roll a d20 for it. 11. You cast it, but it doesn't quite reach Akima. It reaches about a few feet in front of her, kind of. So it doesn't really do anything.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
It doesn't travel nearly as far as you hoped. And because of the way you had to cast the spell, now you're about thigh deep in the tar.
Okay.
Going back to Akima, he releases the finger and you feel kind of the blood rushing back to your cranium to warm you up again. And this rush of just blood to your head makes you very, very wobbly. And you're in tar. So you kind of fall to the side. Your feet and your thighs are still in the tar, but you're kind of lying down. You're still conscious, but you're kind of lying down because it's taking a lot out of you. But you're not taking any damage. You're not taking any hit points. Shadow now turns back to the party. I wonder. And then he kind of spins and goes kind of above, kind of where the chandelier is, but the chandelier still doesn't go out. But you can clearly see this is a shadow of a man. I wonder if anybody knows why we're here. Anybody? He looks around the room.
Well, we kind of left it with some unfinished business last time.
Not what I thought you'd say, but I like the response. Bingo was her name-o. And $1,000 to the beautiful little willow tree in the center of the room. Snaps, and it's raining gold coins on you. From nowhere, just raining gold coins. Doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt, because they're not real. Raining gold coins on you. And he laughs as you're just looking around. It almost feels like a game show. I wonder if your friends are as smart as you are. In fact, I have a glorious little way to test it. But I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh no.
Isaac, he goes to you. The good doctor. He just gets right in your face, and it's just this black shadow in your face. I can't touch you. But somehow, you can touch me, can't you?
I just say nothing.
You say nothing. You're just stern-faced. Okay, gotcha.
I'm just looking at it as if looks can kill.
Yeah, absolutely. If looks could kill. You think you can intimidate me? How cute. Then he goes over to Heather. And he kind of gets in between you two, because you two are still like in that dance position. But he goes over to Heather, who's still frozen, and he kind of doesn't touch her, but he like cups her face almost. Such a pretty face. Oh, what I wouldn't give for such a beautiful face like this. You growl at the shadow. Oh, yeah. Don't touch her. His body's in the same position, but his head whips around to look at just his head whips around to look at you. Well. Looks like the tree has grown some roots. I promise I won't touch your little pet. Well, not directly anyways. After all, I can't. The only one I can touch, he looks at Akima and just kind of tilts his head. Don't worry. I'll have what I came... He's still looking at Akima. Don't worry. I'll have what I came for eventually. But for now, let's play. And then he looks back at you. A game. He swirls up and creates this kind of tornado of just shadows. Akima, you see a face in the tornado of shadows. I told you I'd have your head. I never said how. And it disappears into the tornado. And you see it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It engulfs the entire party.
I am just terrified by what's happening.
You're terrified of what's happening, as you should be.
Yes.
Isaac, do you have a reaction?
Since I couldn't, is it possible to dispel the magic of me on me to break free, or no?
Because of the force of the wind that this tornado is creating, you're being lifted from the tar square regardless.
Oh, so I'm out? Okay.
Kind of.
Do I see?
You can't see anything anymore. The only person that can see right now is Akima.
Is it because it's dark?
Kind of. We'll get to that in a minute. Akima, within this tornado, you see Lost Girl disappear. And then you turn your head to Phoenix, and you see Phoenix disappear. Harry's hand is still outstretched, but he stumbles because he's coming out of freeze. And he just looks to you and he just says, "What did you do? What did you do?" And he tries to run into the tornado, but he's blasted back. He's blasted back into one of the topiaries of the maze. One hand shackled in a vine, another hand shackled in a vine. Both his feet are shackled, and now vines are twisting around his waist. He is trapped in one of the topiaries. And he just screams to you, "What did you do?" You turn back and you see Isaac, and he is lifted away, disappears in the tornado. The tornado comes down and disperses. And now it's just you, Heather, and Harry left awake at the party. Lost Girl is nowhere to be found. Isaac is nowhere to be found. Phoenix is nowhere to be found. Harry's strung up in a vine right now. Heather's frozen in time. And everybody else has fainted. Shadow comes to you again. "I talk to you directly, soldier. I offer this chilling challenge to find your friends and find your way out." And you're like, "Find my way out? What do you mean? I know my way out. It's just through the front fucking door." And he's like, "Oh, really?" Puts a chilling hand on your chest. Boom. Just puts it on your chest. You go up. And now you are in a room. You don't know what type of room you're in, but it's very dark. You smell mold, and because of your sight modifier, you can see that there's like cobblestone on the ground and on the walls. There's a little bit of hay, and you can hear your armor kind of clanking on something. Above you is a kind of wooden door, almost, but it's very high up, and there is a singular window that is barred. Everything else is stone and cement, and you smell like mildew, and there's somehow water dripping from the ceiling, and you're there and you're alone, and nobody can hear you. Dr. Isaac.
Yes.
You are again in a dark room, but it's different than like a regular, like it's not a dungeon cell. You know it's not a dungeon cell because you can hear kind of a sizzling almost, right? You hear something, or you smell something burning, but not in the way that it's like going up in flames. Do you try to find a light switch of any kind?
Actually, as a cantrip, I can cast light on my hand to build up a light source.
Okay, so you cast light on your hand. It's a light source.
There's a purple flame.
It's a purple flame.
Yeah,
You're in a kind of chemistry lab of sorts. There's a whole bunch of potions. There's a whole bunch of stuff kind of everywhere. There's like chemicals, and there's jars, and there's potions, and there's a Bunsen burner, and there's candles. No discernible light switch necessarily, but there are a bunch of candles that can provide enough light. And you're in a makeshift chemistry or science lab of some kind.
Is there like a torch that's not like on?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of candles. You can light the candles. You can light the torches.
I'm gonna grab a torch and use the flame on top of it so I can remember.
You do that. Once one torch is lit from your hand, pretty much all the torches and all the candles automatically light themselves.
Okay.
And again, now you can clearly see that you're in a science lab of some kind. There's like diagrams of like different mythical creatures. There's a lot of like different chemicals all labeled about. There's a bunch of different poisons all labeled about. There's just a whole bunch of science-y stuff strewn about this place. But here's the thing. There is no window and there is no door.
Uh-oh.
You are transported to what looks like kind of a tower.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a room. There's a singular light and there's a bed. Your hair is longer than it has ever been and seems to wrap around the entire room, in the rafters, everywhere. You're in a tower and there's a singular window. There's a singular window where you are. There's mirrors, there's a couple of books, and you're just in a tower, and it's not decorated at all, but there's the essentials. But you're in a tower, and you're alone. You're now in a different dress.
Mm-hmm.
You're now in a long, purple, just gown. Your feet are still bare. You're still barefoot, but that's okay. We won't blame.
Standard. On brand.
On brand, exactly. But you're in a huge, long, purple gown.
Do I still have my bag? No, I literally
You
don't
have
anything.
nothing. You have nothing. But there's a bookshelf in the tower.
Okay. I'm gonna peek out the window real quick.
Mm-hmm. What you see is just a vast forest of just trees, and it looks really, really pretty, but it's just trees. It's just forest. The sun is shining and you can see outside, but you don't see anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what you see. Anything else? Do you want to yell anything? Do you want to scream? What do you do?
Well, shit.
Do you want to examine like your hair at all?
Sure. This shit's heavy.
Yeah, it is. Roll an intelligence check for me.
21 total.
Love that. So you know this story. This is the story of Rapunzel. And you've just become the main character. Your hair, so you know that your hair kind of can't be cut. It'll break any blade that tries to cut it. You know that it's very, very strong. You know that it's potentially magical. And you know that it gets very, very thick and very, very heavy, and you'll have to brush it. Do you want to look around the room at all?
Yeah. I
Okay.
I might as well get acclimated.
Okay.
Do I have a man in my closet?
I don't know. Go check.
Okay.
Roll a simple d20.
A man in my closet, I want it to be Isaac.
No.
3.
You can't even open the closet.
Fuck.
It's locked. Closet is locked.
Oh boy.
Closet is locked, my love.
Okay.
Do you want to look for anything else or look around at all?
I'll see if like any of my stuff that was in my bag is in there, like if the books are on the bookshelf or if anything else in my bag is like on the table or in a drawer or something.
So you see Bullseye on a shelf.
Okay. Beautiful.
But she's just wooden.
Yeah.
She's just wooden. She can't transform. You see your wooden sword next to the bed, but it's wood.
Yeah.
There's still magic, but it's different. On the bookshelf, you see Peter Pan. You see History of Trapdoors, right? I believe you took. Did you take History of Trapdoors, or did you?
No, I took Secret Passageways or like the Hidden Doors.
Gotcha.
I took that one because if I took the trapdoors, then I would have eaten. But I took the one that let me flip around and get the.
Yeah. So you took like the Hidden Passageways one. So you see that book, and then you see the story of Rapunzel. I suggest you open it.
Yeah.
So you take the story of Rapunzel down, and you flip through, and you see words and pictures, and it looks like you. The pictures now look like you.
Oh boy.
Do you want to keep flipping the pages, or do you just open it to a random page and just stay there?
Oh. Peruse.
You flip through, and you're skimming, and you're skimming, and you're skimming, and then all of a sudden the pages go blank. They don't stop; they're still there.
Yeah,
but
like
the pages,
writing stops.
The writing stops. Pages go blank.
Okay. I'm assuming that'll fill.
With every decision you make, pages will fill.
Okay.
Do you want to look around the room a little bit more?
Yeah.
Or do you want to wait till next week?
Yeah, sure.
I gave you so many different options.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So you want to look around the room?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a straight d20, no modifier. Just straight d20 for me. 9. Okay. So you look around the room and you see on the vanity almost big old mirror, a hairbrush, a toothbrush, just kind of basic things that you need. You also see that the ground is wood planks. It's just your stereotypical wood planks, but your hair is covering most of it.
Yeah.
You see the bookshelf with a limited amount of books. You see in the very far corner art supplies. You see clay, and you see paint, and you see like canvases and brushes and things like that. So in that corner you see art supplies, and you keep looking around and you see a makeshift guitar, and you see a small oven and a small stove, just basic necessity stuff. This is the only room that you can perceive right now. There isn't like a staircase leading to like a master bedroom or something like that. It's just you and the room and the window and the candle.
Okay.
You go to the mirror and you see that your eyes have changed back to the original color they were.
Okay.
They no longer have the stars in them.
I could.
Go. What do you want to do?
Wasn't I gonna say I could only look in like the? Wasn't it? Oh wait, no, it was real mirrors because my mirror was a fake one the first time. Okay, we're good.
No, it is mirror magic, and typically, if you looked inside a mirror, you'd be able to to see something, but right now, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. You keep looking, and do you want to move your hair at all?
Yeah, I'd probably try and like pull it all together so I can braid it, and then theoretically, if I were to see anything else, I'd see it while I was doing my hair.
Not with a 9, bestie. You said a 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not with a 9. But
I'll still pull my hair together to do my hair.
Yeah. So you pull your hair together, you grab the brush, and you start braiding. And you're like, well, this might kill some time at the very least. Hi, love.
Hi.
You are transported to a forest. You don't know what just happened. All you know is 1 minute you were trying to help Akima. The next minute you're alone, still in the tea dress, and you're in a forest. And now your powers are not candy themed, but you do still have magic. Other than that, you have nothing. You are just in a forest. You're in your element, but you're just in a forest. Do you do anything? Do you have a reaction at all?
What the fuck?
Yeah, that tracks.
I try and like get my bearings to see if I can figure out remotely where I am, I guess.
Okay. How do you do that?
I think. So I still have magic.
Yes.
Okay, I would transform into some kind of like, maybe like an eagle and try and fly up to see where I am. Like
Okay.
over the trees of the forest to try and get like, what even, like where am I at all?
Okay. Roll a d20 for me.
Okay. 12.
So you transform into an eagle, you said?
Mm-hmm.
And you fly up, and you keep flying, and you don't really seem to get any higher. Like you go, like from the ground, you get to like branch level, but you keep flying and flying and flying and seemingly get nowhere. You look around and you just kind of hover mid-tree, and you look up and it's trees, and you look down and it's ground, and you look right, trees, left, trees. You're just surrounded by forest.
I go back down to the ground and transform back, and I think I would just like scream if anybody else was there, like trying to get anybody to answer.
Okay, so what do you scream?
Like, hello? Is anybody there? Literally anyone?
You're in an empty forest.
Okay.
After you scream, you hear something kind of rustle in the bushes and in the trees and things like that. But they're just regular animals. A bunny, a duck, a butterfly. Small things, nothing too big. But you're the only human here. Do with that what you will.
Okay.
You guys are trapped. And that's where we're going to end this session for today.
Good boy.
Woo! Woo! That's where we end it.